Welcome, world of hi-fi enthusiasts looking for videos about home audio gear. Here are the $3,500 Triangle Hi-Fi Capella active stand mount loudspeakers. Now in the past I've made episodes about the active Triangle AIO twins and more recently the budget adjacent passive Triangle Borea Bro 4s. And let me say, these Capellas are in a whole different league. In this episode, I'm going to give these active Capellas a proper look and a proper listen. I admit, I still struggle to deal with all-in-one type products like these. I am so biased in believing that using separates is the best way to go. But the more exposure I have to these all-in-one products from Technics, Cambridge Audio, and especially the Capellas, I am starting to question my whole belief system. Now we're going to do things a bit differently this time. I'm going to start with my impressions and conclusions first, and then we'll peel back the layers and look at the tech and the build after that. Sound good? What is messing with my head is that I'm getting nearly as much pleasure listening to music through the Triangle Capella system as I do through my big fancy multi-component setup that I've spent years putting together and that costs several times more. And it's kind of mind-blowing. The Capella's paper mid-bass driver is outstanding. They bring this agile, slightly pulpy richness to vocals, guitars, keyboards, horns, percussion, strings, anything that actually benefits from having texture. And the horn-loaded tweeters are not sharp or beamy. I can stand and sit and lean and shuffle around without the trebles sliding off a cliff. The Capellas move the music forward with real drive and authority. And the Room EQ feature in the app make a surprisingly noticeable improvement here in my room. I've heard Money for Nothing by Dire Straits more times than is probably healthy, dating back to the 1980s MTV era. Yet, through the Capellas, I picked up tiny vocal shades and inflections I've never noticed before. And the Robert Ludwig mastered Brothers in Arms is dynamic, and these speakers just open the doors and let the whole thing through. I compared them to the $650 Triangle Bro 4s powered by Orchard Audio's 150-watt monoblocks. And the Bro 4s have a pleasant, breezy lightness in the highs and upper mids, and they're very listenable speakers. But when I played Breezin' by the B-52s, Fred Schneider and Kate Pearson's voices through the Bro 4s sounded a bit floaty and disembodied. And with the Capellas, those same vocals had bodies again, full-sized, breathing, resonating humans instead of heads suspended in midair. Stagger Lee and other tracks from Nick Cave's Murder Ballads album have some really beautiful nimble bass lines from Martin Casey, and the Capellas delivered those with real engagement and nuance. Earlier this year, I made a video about the Technics SC CX700s. And compared to those, the Capella soundstage is not quite as wide or tall, but the imaging is excellent. And I prefer the Capella's overall tonality and sense of impact. And they're slightly more relaxed up top, less crystalline than the Technics, which suits my ears much better. They also make me feel more emotionally present with the music. Straight out of the box, I liked them. There was no warming up to them, no mental negotiations, no give me a week to decide. It was immediate. Yep, these are really good. And $3,500 is not pocket change, but the Capellas look and feel the part. And when you factor in that you're getting the speakers and the amps and the DACs with the remote and a room EQ system that's all bundled together and works well, and there's no need to buy special cables or component juggling needed, the value starts to make sense. And that Wisa wireless hub makes placement refreshingly simple. You just got two slim power cables to the speakers and you're pretty much done. And the setup apps are fairly straightforward, so you can go from box opening to actual music in a short amount of time. Out of all the all-in-one solutions I've lived with, this one sits at the very top. As an enthusiast, I judge this kind of thing by obviously sound quality first, then aesthetics, how they look, then ease of use, and then value. And the Capella score impressively high in all four categories. Now let's delve in deeper and see if they could be the speakers that you should consider. Now let's take a closer look at the triangle Capellas. These come in a nice astral blue finish, which is kind of a dark, deep dark, marbly finish, very glossy, as you can see, reflections in them. Here's the grill. It's connected by 4 magnets at the top there. I'm going to give you the dimensions in inches. If you want metric, go on the Triangle website. So these are approximately 8 inches wide, 15 inches tall, let's say about 12.5 inches deep. And the website says they're 19 pounds. For the mid-bass driver, we have the Triangle's well-known pulp, kind of paper-like driver here with a rubber surround. It has a nice rubber little ridged ring around the outside. And the tweeter's at a recess inside a horn, and that's a magnesium tweeter. Has a little phase, little plug there in the front. Once again, it has this rubbery ring around the outside. Instead of a front-mounted port, they've chosen to put the port on the bottom, so they had to employ this metal, this metal, looks like cast metal, aluminum kind of bottom platform with rubber pads on the corner. As you can see, there's not a whole lot going on in the back of this speaker, and that's unusual considering this is an active powered unit. So you don't see a lot of inputs and outputs. There is the power cord connection is under here. And I believe there's a pairing switch and some other thing. But inside these speakers are two 50-watt Class D amplifiers, a pair of DACs, I believe, and the DSP digital crossover. The Triangle badging here on the front it's not like a decal or something stuck on. These are 3-dimensional. These have dimension. They're gold. Very attractive. Very nice attention to detail going on here. Sorry to interrupt. I'll be very brief. According to my YouTube stats, the vast majority of views on this channel are from non-subscribers, which tell me that my actual subscribers are not being notified when a new episode is available. So if you enjoy this type of content and wish to see more in the future, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so when a new video is up, you'll know about it. Thanks. Triangle Hi-Fi, based in France, can't easily engineer its own electronic ecosystem in the way the much larger multinational corporation like Technics can. Instead, they use third-party systems from Google and Wisa to handle Wi-Fi connectivity and signal distribution. And the Wisa system links the Capellas to your network instead of plugging your gear into the back of one speaker. You plug everything into the Wisa Hub, and this avoids potential wire spaghetti waterfall hanging off the rear of your speaker setup. Now the hub can live anywhere. Hide it, display it, put it in the pantry. It doesn't care. So we can see it's a simple rectangular box, small, lightweight. I believe that's a plastic case. Triangle logo, little status light I think on the front. And around the back we've got the connections. All right, looking on the back here, we've got analog input for probably most likely like a phono stage if you want to connect a turntable to this. We've got HDMI ARC for connect to a TV. We've got 3 optical Toslink inputs. We got one coaxial digital input. We've got some kind of a auxiliary input for like a maybe 3.5 millimeter connector. We got USB audio to connect to like a streaming box, like a Blue Sound Node or a Eversolo or a computer. We've got a service port. We got some kind of reset button there. We got a pairing button, and we have a connection for the power lead. I was surprised to see there was no option to use an Ethernet cable, because there was no port on the back of the hub. It's all in with Wi-Fi. Now the Capellas come with their own remote control. And this is a metal remote control. It's sturdy, it's hefty, it's very unusual from my experience. What I find unusual is that it's very sensitive to touch. So even if you like tap the surface near it, it triggers it to switch on. Now another thing that's strange is these bright LEDs, and when you press the volume up, which is this what do they call these ring controllers, L-pads or something, it goes up and down like that. These are extreme. I don't know if you could really notice this. These are extremely bright LEDs. And the lettering on the controls, the lettering here on the little, on the labels is kind of faint. It's not really very contrasty. And in a dark room, these bright lights pretty much overpower my ability to see the lettering. So I really have to put on the lights to see which. So you adjust the input with this, you go side to side here. Now I like that it's because it's room ready. The pause, play, fast, forward and back buttons work with Rune, which is nice. It's got a mute button here, and I guess there's the power button. I've never used the power button, but I don't know if you can really see, but these, as I said, these LEDs are super bright. They're almost blinding, especially in a darkened room. This is very slippery in the hand. I've always, I put it on my lap, and then I move, it slides right off my lap. This is a remote made by Wisa. Say it doesn't say triangle anywhere on it. This has an accelerometer in it, I figured out. So if you just pick it up, lights go on. Or if the surface is resting on, get some kind of vibration. So that's how it works. It's very unusual. Don't you think? To get the Capellas onto your Wi-Fi network, you need to install the Google Home app on your phone. And then you install the Capella app to do the system configuration. The Hub gives you several digital input options for a computer or a streamer or a CD player. For streaming, you can use Rune or the native Connect function in Tidal, Qobuz, or Spotify, because there's no streamer circuitry inside the Capellas. The app is clean and not overwhelming. There's 3 tabs: Home, Speaker Configuration, and Room EQ. The Room EQ function is where it gets a bit interesting. With iPhones, you just wave your phone around while playing pink noise, and it maps the acoustics of your room. But with Android devices, you'll need to buy the external mic. The measurements by the Capella's app in my space showed a fairly significant dip between 50 and 400 hertz. Enabling the Room EQ utility makes the mid-bass fill in very nicely, adding both punch and weight. And that was a big improvement. Triangle Hi-Fi chooses not to disclose which type of amp modules, DAC, or DSP are inside the Capellas. They do, however, share internal design photos that you can nerd out over. And I highly recommend downloading the user manual. It's actually pretty good. It's comprehensive, easy to understand, and has pictures, and will help you get the most out of your Capellas. Now here's a quick real-world moment. My wife recently sat down in my room while I was listening to the Capellas, and she actually said she liked them and asked how much they cost. Now, she almost never asks comments on audio gear, let alone shows interest in pricing. So she really likes them, and that's something. The triangle hi-fi Capellas were released in June of 2024, so they're still relatively new models. And I just learned that Triangle announced there's going to be some new Capella 2s expected in early 2026. I don't have any details yet, but it's something to be aware of. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Hello, thank you for watching My Own Devices. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like and share it. Dave will be very happy if you do.